My name is Brian Taylor with the North and South Rivers Watershed Association. And today, I am joined by Dr. Sara Grady, watershed ecologist for the North and South Rivers Watershed Association and South Shore Regional Coordinator for the Massachusetts Bay's National Estuary Partnership. Welcome, Sara.
Thank you.
So Sara, can you tell us a little bit about where we are and what we're seeing here?
Well, this is the First Herring Brook, which is a tributary of the North River. It flows out to the Herring River. We're in Scituate, and upstream of here, it goes through this pond, which is Old Oak and Bucket Pond, and continues on up to the Scituate Reservoir and Scituate Tack Factory Pond. Since
we're going to be talking about river stories and restoration, what are some concerns that we have here with this system?
Well, the main issues here are fish passage and issues with water quantity. There are also some water quality problems too. There are herring that migrate up here from the North River, and they're trying to get up into the reservoir to spawn. Here we do have a fish ladder that can pass some fish, but once they get past here, they're unable to get up into the reservoir because the fish ladder only works when the reservoir is completely full. Also, this is Scituate's water supply. So whenever the water levels in the system get low, it also affects the environmental flows in the system.
What forms of restoration have been done here at the system?
Well, there have been some improvements to fish passage. There were some additional weirs put in at this fish ladder, but most of the focus in this location has been on trying to improve the amount of water in the system. Because it's Scituate's water supply, there needs to be a constant balancing act between municipal water demand and the environmental flows. And if there's no water going downstream, the fish can't migrate in, and more importantly, they can't migrate out. So really what we've been trying to do here is work with the town to try to provide enough water for both people and the environment.
Wow. With that, what are some of the challenges that you face when it comes to trying to restore and preserve and protect this waterway and this fish passage?
Well, the main thing that really affects the water quantity in the First Herring Brook is that municipal water demand. So it's been a challenge to try to help the community understand that they need to conserve water for the benefit of their own water supply, but also for the benefit of the fish and all the other things that are living in the stream. Also, sometimes it's difficult to move these projects forward through the town. So, we've been trying to work on a project to elevate the reservoir, for example. And we are hoping to improve fish passage there by allowing water to go down that fish ladder more often. But those things take time and takes also a lot of money to do big things like improving a dam.
Sara, what makes restoration work at this site unique compared to other restoration projects at other sites around the South Shore?
Well, we're often talking about dam removal at many of these sites where we're trying to improve continuity. But in the case of the First Herring Brook, because it's the town's water system, we're not looking at dam removal. So really what we're looking at is trying to help the fish get upstream the best we can by making sure that they have the structures in place to do that, keeping the dams intact, and also that the water is there for them to swim both upstream and downstream.
With all this restoration work here that has been done and that will be done, what are some of the positive outcomes that you expect to see here at the system?
Well, the biggest success that we've seen is that as soon as we came up with a flow plan with the town and started providing flows down this fish ladder, which hadn't been provided for decades, that next spring we saw river herring show up. And every spring since then, we've seen river herring. There haven't been that many. They've been in the maybe dozens, but that's a really hopeful sign that if we're able to provide more habitat upstream, that fish population might increase even more.
Great. Well, what are some things that the folks and the students of Scituate can do to help the waterways, the rivers, and the herring in their town?
The biggest impact that anyone could have here would be conserving water. That's the most important thing here, because the more water there is in this stream, the more water there will be for people and the more water there will be for fish. On a smaller scale, Doing things like not putting fertilizer on your lawn will help protect the water quality in both of the ponds so that it provides good habitat for the fish.
Wow, Sarah, that is really interesting. Thanks so much for coming out on this chilly morning, and thanks for sharing your insight and wisdom on the work that's being done here in Scituate.
Oh, thank you.
So there you have it, folks. There is something that everybody can do within their town to help preserve and protect one of our most valuable resources, as well as the animals and the species that call that resource their home. So this is a call to action for those of you who are listening, that there is always something that can be done to help. Thanks so much for joining us on these river stories here in Scituate. Once again, my name is Brian Taylor with the North and South Rivers Watershed Association, and we will see you out on the river.